Yo, what's up, family? In this video, we're going to talk about selling one-to-one versus one-to-many. So make sure you stick around, and I'm going to give you a little hack on how you can increase and boost your sales really, really fast, really, really quick. So let's jump right into it.
Freaking amazing. There's no limit how high you can take it. If you ever dream, you gotta chase. Be freaking amazing. Recognize your greatness and embrace it. If you want your shot, you have to take it.
Okay, cool. So let me share my screen really quick. And like I said, we're talking about selling one-to-one versus one-to-many. And this is just kind of like a different way, a different tactics of how you can get customers. They both work, but I prefer one over the other. And can you guess which one I prefer over which one I don't prefer? All right. So here's the thing. What is selling? Okay, selling is any transaction that money is exchanged for a good or a service. So any type of transaction. So it's basically like, I'm gonna build a website for you. You give me $1,000, I build a website for you. You exchange money for the good or for the service. That's selling. All right. And during a sales presentation, so if you're gonna sell something, you have to have a sales presentation. So during the sales presentation, the seller attempts to convince or sell the buyer on the benefits of their offer, right? So key word here is sales presentation. All right. Next slide. I'm telling myself next slide. All right. So how do you present these presentations? You can do this with one-to-one, which means one person to one person that's making a sales presentation and offering your services to one prospect at a time. How can you do this? You can do this on a sales call, picking up the phone, like, hello, may I speak to such and such? And making a sales call or doing a Zoom call, give somebody a calendar link, send them a Zoom link, you do a Zoom call, or you can even do one-to-one sales face to face, which one-to-one is cool, but here are some of the things about it. Let's say if you want to make 5 sales per week, all right, with your business, you got a coaching business, you're like, okay, I want to get 5 clients per week. All right, you're going to need to do about 25 sales calls per week because average conversion rate is about 20-30%, right? So at 20% conversions, you need 25 calls per week or 5 sales appointment per day, which you might say that's not bad, but you're going to be booked and busy, right? If you want to be booked and busy, that's the way to go. Okay. And I know we look at booked and busy as a good thing, but if you can see my screen, you guys on Instagram can't see my screen, but if you can see my screen, like it's like the little weary emoji, like booked and busy. Oh my God. Just imagine being on Zoom 5 hours a day, every single day with different personalities, different people, and trying to do sales calls and sales appointments. It works, but it can be a headache. Ask me how I know. Okay. Here's the alternative: one-to-many, right? So one-to-many is making a sales presentation and offering your services to many prospects, MANY, right? To a bunch of different people at one time. And the way you do this is with a virtual event, a mini workshop, online masterclasses, 5-day challenges, right? These are the way that you do the one-to-many. And this is the same scenario. You're a coach. Your goal is to do 5 sales per week, right? With your coaching business. And so now what you're going to do is you only need to have one mini workshop. Okay. So now I'm saying MINI instead of MANY. One little workshop and have 25 people registered for your mini workshop. And of those 25 people that register, you still got your 20% conversion rate. You close 5 deals, you turn 5 or more into customers. And so now you spent 1 hour or 1 hour, 30 minutes with 25 people at one time and made the same presentation, right? And the presentation might be a little different. You might actually be teaching a thing or giving information about, helping them to develop a particular skill. Like, for instance, for me, for what I'm doing, this training that I'm doing right now literally could be a mini workshop. Like I could have did a mini workshop, learn how to sell one-to-many versus one-to-one, and drastically boost your sales and decrease the time to do it, right? And so I'll teach you this skill, how to sell one to many, and then at the end of the presentation, I could offer my services to you. Like if you learn and you got value from this and you want to close the gap of really scaling your coaching business, then this is how we could do it. Do, right? And of the 25 people that's there, 5 of you guys or more will be interested and take the offer. And now I spent an hour and 30 minutes with you one time and got the same 5 sales versus spending 25 hours a week, right, to get the same 5 sales. And so this is what we call booked and happy, right? You're still booked, but you're happy because you saved literally 20 to 25 hours of your time every single week, right? That's the type of life we want to be living. So the big question is this: which type of virtual event should you do? I already kind of gave you a clue and a hint of what type I do, but let's talk about them. So you have different types of virtual events. You have webinars, you have 5-day challenges, you have mini workshops. If there are other types of virtual events that you guys utilize or know about, like drop a comment in the chat, and I'd like to check them out. So let me know what kind of virtual events you guys know about. I now call them mini workshops. I used to do master classes, but they're basically a master class to me is the same thing as a mini workshop, right? So some of the big differences are a webinar is going to be something that you can see the host, but there is limited interaction, right? Like right now, if you're watching this live, you're able to comment. I can see you comment and I can respond to you and reply to you and answer questions and things like that. If you're watching this later on YouTube, you can't really respond and reply. Well, kind of like a webinar, is really limited interaction. The 5-day challenge is going to be longer, right? It's going to be 5 days, right? Versus the mini workshop, 1 hour. Okay, so those are pretty much the biggest differences. I'll give you some pros and cons of each. For a webinar, webinars are flexible, they're convenient, and most of the times they're free, right? So webinars are absolutely free. Okay. But there's pros and cons about being free too. When you do free events, a lot of times you attract tire kickers and you attract freebie seekers. And like Myron Golden calls them, freeple people, right? Freeple people don't want to buy, they don't want to pay, they just want to come and suck up some information and then go about their business, right? But you have an opportunity to attract a lot of people. It's free, so they may not be invested. And so that's actually a pro and a con of a webinar. Some of the cons is limited interaction that we talked about earlier, and then also lack of control of the atmosphere, right? You really don't know what they're doing. You can't see them. You might can see their names. They may comment in the chat, but you can't really see what's going on, right? The 5-day challenge, which a lot of people are running 5-day challenges. All of you guys have probably been a part of 5-day challenges. I like 5-day challenges, but I don't like to do them for myself, right? But here's some of the things. They're flexible, right? You can do them in the morning, in the evening, in the middle of the day, right? You can do it the first of the week, the first of the month, the middle of the month, the end of the month. They're flexible. You have more time with your prospects, so you have more time for them to get to know you, for them to get to understand, your coaching services or your consulting services or whatever you do. And also it's paid, right? So everybody that's coming, there are some free challenges, right? But for the most part, they are paid. So everybody that's coming, they've at least made an investment up into themselves, the 47, 97, 197, 297, right? I don't know why my screen keeps going out. Some of the cons are it takes a lot of time to prepare to do a 5-day challenge. Like you got to have an outline for all of the 5 days. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to really know your stuff and really be ready to teach if you're going to do a 5-day challenge. For some that's good, for some that might not be good. All right. you have to engage for 5 days, right? So you have to be engaging for 5 days. You have to be on top of your stuff and make sure that people are completely tuned out of the world and tuned into your world in order for you to convert at the end of the 5 days. Another con is people tend to drop off, right? Because of their schedule. They may be all in on Monday, Tuesday something crazy happens, Wednesday they got church, Thursday they forgot about you, Friday they got date night, right? And so they've dropped off. You have some people that stick around, but there is going to be a high churn rate. There's going to be a high drop off rate as the days go by. And the other con is they can be exhausting. I've done 5-day challenges and I've converted. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've done really well with 5-day challenges, but I was wore out. I would get on Tuesday and be excited. Monday night, I'm excited. Tuesday, I'm excited. Wednesday, I'm like, I gotta go teach again. Thursday, I'm like, I'm so glad it's Thursday because I only got one more night after this. So like it takes a lot to do a 5-day challenge. It can be really, really exhausting, right? So those are some of the pros and cons of a 5-day challenge. This is why we prefer mini workshops. Me personally, my team, we prefer mini workshops because number one, they are focused, right? Which means they give you focus. That you get an intense burst of learning that you need, and you can quickly gain a new skill and gain some knowledge, right? So, like a mini workshop is about 45 minutes to an hour, hour and a half at the most, 2 hours if it's a stretch. So it's extremely focused, and you're teaching one skill, right? So in the field of marketing, which is what I do. I have a marketing agency. We help coaches to launch, scale, and grow their coaching business. So we do like websites for coaches, content for coaches, building funnels for coaches, marketing plans for coaches. And then we have a coaching program for coaches to help coaches grow, right? And so if I were to do a mini workshop, which I'm doing a mini workshop on January, right now it's January 12th, but if you're watching this later on in the future, I don't know what the date is, right? Got to remind myself I'm creating content for now and for evergreen, right? But back to the point, if it was for me, we have skills of lead generation, you got skills of lead conversion, you have skills of how to convert, how to actually do your mini workshop, how to create content. Like there's a bunch of different skills. And so I can teach on like how to create content to drive traffic to build your list. And that's the skill I'm teaching you on this mini workshop, which all coaches need to know how to create content to drive traffic to build their list, right? And so the second thing is they save time. They're shorter, they're more convenient than a traditional workshop. They're shorter than a 5-day challenge, right? So you can squeeze them into a busy schedule without too much hassle. The third thing is they're cost effective. Many workshops are typically less expensive than a traditional workshop, less expensive than a 5-day challenge, which means you won't break the bank, but it's still an investment. So I've seen people do a mini workshop for $7 or $47, right? Which means people still have to pay to get there. So they're invested, but they don't necessarily have to pay as much, right? And also on your end, it doesn't cost too much to do this mini workshop. If you got Zoom, you got your cell phone, you good to go, right? So you have more value for your money. And the fourth reason why we love mini workshops is because you can build trust and you can build trust fast, right? Mini workshops allow you to have an intimate setting with direct interaction. So you can build trust fast. Video is one of the fastest ways to build trust, and teaching a skill to someone is the fastest way for them to understand and learn that you are the coach for them. If you're teaching them the skill that they need, they will see that, okay, I need you, therefore you are now my coach, right? And also because it's so short, there's no time for fluff. So it's straight to the point. Like similar to what I'm doing right now, this is straight to the point. I'm giving you zero fluff. I'm giving you all value, right? Same thing on the mini workshop. It's all value, right? So here's a case study that I want to kind of talk about. So we have a client who he doesn't have a large audience, and he was kind of nervous about doing his mini workshops. He didn't think a lot of people would show up. He didn't think that he would attract a lot of people. So we put the marketing plan in place. Hey, post this, do this. We created the flyer, we put the game plan together, and he ended up having 70 people register. And I'm looking at a screenshot that we sent. It actually was more than 70. I think it was about 100 people that actually registered by the time we launched. So he had 100 people that registered, and then about a little less than 50 people showed up. 47 people showed up. So you're right at a 50%, 47% show up rate, which is really, really good, right? And he doesn't have a large audience. With the first event that he did, he got 70 new leads, right? He also closed one high ticket product on a 1 hour mini workshop. I'm talking a 10K product. He closed 10K with this mini workshop, and his was free. I don't recommend doing free mini workshops. I recommend doing paid, which that's a whole nother training that I'll do, paid versus free. Why one over the other? Why would you do free? Why would you do paid? Right? Because normally when you do paid, you attract a little less people, but you attract all the right people. But that's another training for another day. But I wanted to share that with you, that people are getting results regardless to how many followers they got, right? And so just to kind of close out, if you want to learn how you can use a mini workshop to grow your coaching business, your consulting business, or your service-based business, then we are having a workshop to teach you how to do mini workshops. What you want to do is just click the link right down below, and you'll get more information about it, or shoot me a message and say, hey, I'm interested in a workshop. I need to get into this thing right now. Space is limited because we're only allowing a certain amount of people in, because we purposefully want this to be an intimate setting. But that's it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, and I want you to be freaking amazing. All right, my friend, let me get out of here. I'll see y'all next time. All right, peace.
You freaking amazing. There's no limit how high you can take it. If you ever dream, you gotta chase. You freaking amazing. Recognize your greatness and embrace it. If you want your shot, you have to take it.